My drive has always been about sharing the love of music, finding it and then sharing it.
Some tracks make me really happy. Some tracks makes me think. Some tracks make you forget everything.
Such an experience of freedom and experiencing that freedom with other people, all through the sound of music.
Dance music has always been about an escape and a letting go.
Just get lost in this aural soundscape. Close my eyes, stick my head in the speaker, and just be absorbed.
I'm very nervous. What if something goes wrong? I was always building tree houses with my dad. And we put a radio in it, bought like cheap car speakers, kept expanding it. Before we knew it, we had like a kind of tree house club. My friends were there, we started playing music. Then we made it like mobile, so we could like travel with it. It wasn't a treehouse anymore, it was just like a kind of DJ booth.
We made a very big sign saying DJ Marty on it. And it all fitted in the car, so I could drive him to the places where he wanted to perform.
I discovered electronic music due to Chesto's performing at the Olympics. I heard like the sound on television, and I never kind of listened to it before, and I never really got connected to it. I loved it. I played at like the local house parties for like 10 people. I had my first real DJ gig in 16th of January 2010. There were like 250 people, and that was for me already like, that was like a goal for me to like make it bigger. I played the guitar at the time. Had so many ideas which I had on the guitar, but I had nothing to like put it in. Start messing around with the ideas and with the melodies which I created on my guitar. I started doing some research, and I found like this program which allowed me to put my guitar melodies in the computer. Finished my first record when I was like 10 or something. I still have it. It's completely terrible, but I was super proud of it. I was doing everything from my bedroom. Luckily, I had a neighbor who was deaf, who wasn't complaining about my noise. I had agreements with my parents that after 10 p.m. I couldn't play loud music anymore because my sister wanted to go to sleep. Then I would be at the middle of the night with my headphones on. I got discovered through a local DJ, and I made an unofficial remix for Tonight by Enrique Iglesias, and he started playing it out live at his shows. Some other DJs contacted me, and one of them was looking for a producer, and I played him some of my stuff, and he was like, one track, oh, I really like the track, and he released it on Spinnin' Records, and the track became really big. Spinnin' Records, they invited me at their office, and it was fun. I never told them how old I was until I actually met them in real life, and they were like, fuck off, this can't be true. So then they joined me to my house, to my room where I still produce the music, and they were like, yeah, show what you do. And I showed them like a lot of new stuff, a lot of melodies, which I was working on, and not that much later, I signed on Spinnin' Records.
The main core of our music will always be underground. Doesn't matter if you call Cox or Tiesto or Martin Garrix, it always will be underground.
With the popularity of electronic music today, sure, we all appreciate that more and more kids are into it. But you know, we always hope that getting into electronic music via like Afrojack or Tiesto, they're just sort of scratching the surface and you know, interested to explore further.
The thing with dance music, it is not about vocals, but it's about arrangement. The whole journey you can take someone on. You create something that sounds like, hey, this is a nice song, like for people that are not used to dance music, and then you present them with the drop. If I ask my grandma, do you like the drop? She's like, what's the drop? I share the drop. Look, ooh, I like the dancey part. I like the dancey part.
I've got this bad habit when I start working on an idea, I'm like working on like a breakdown so much, and I build up, and then I have to come up with a drop, and I'm like,
Martijn Skypes me, and he's like, hey, I haven't been able to sleep all night. There's this melody in my head. I made this new record. You need to hear it. And it was the demo of Animals.
Sometimes I start with a melody, sometimes I start with a kick drum. I go through a sound bank with already pre-programmed sounds, or I start programming my own sound.
When we started out, we did very small shows, you know, just to get him going, get him to experience how the life is and stuff. And suddenly, you know, we released his record, Animals.
It's an amazing piece of music. That's an example of electronic music becoming top 40 that seems to have quite a lot of integrity around it.
Special drop, you know. Everybody was making hard drops, but his was still special.
instrumental record becomes a top 40 radio record in the US, a #1 single in the UK.
He was the first 17-year-old guy who made it into the UK chart. He was the youngest guy ever playing Ultra.
Nervous as fuck. I'm really nervous, yeah. I threw up earlier today.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. The craziest thing for me is like how it all went so quick. And that's also why I still don't really realize yet what's happening right now.
Aubrey, is this for Pyro?
I was at Ultra 2013 in the crowd. And right now, you're playing the main stage, you're a main stage actor, and it's super. I had to pinch myself a million times.
It went that fast that every moment you had no time to getting used at the success. It went that fast.
But imagine for him, he just did this in 2 years. Yeah. What we did in 10 years, he did in 2 years. It must be hard to process so much in such a short time, you know? You go from being in your bedroom to play in front of 100,000 people in a year almost. Like, this is crazy.
I was in the crowd 2 years ago.
What the fuck?
Like for me, it was boom, this, then oh, we got a request for Tomorrowland. Oh, we got, and before you know it, you're in the middle of it, and there's so much happening at the same time that you kind of forget what's happening, and you're focused on the next thing. Where's it gonna end? That's my question, because I have no clue. What's gonna happen next?
I don't know. Do you know what's gonna happen next?
I mean, I think it's about not being scared and not having fun. You know, the fact that you're nervous now is a good thing.
How is a 17-year-old kid the fucking face of dance music? What the fuck? You know? Like...
16, 17-year-old kid makes a record. He has got no experience ever of playing in front of a crowd, and they book him. Why?
A 17-year-old kid who has no context of the greater history of anything that he's doing. He made some track for teenage kids. Like, it's not music. It's just a way to sell music to teenagers.
There's a lot of commotion going on, like, oh, you're too mainstream, from like the underground people or the mainstream people who don't understand the underground thing. But if people who love techno don't like the electronic music or the stuff which I make, then don't listen to it.
So what is underground?
I always wished, like, when I was in my bedroom, like, I want to do this in front of 100,000 people, but I never really thought it would happen. I never had the intention to become famous. For me, I make music because I love it, because it's my hobby.
You hear electronic music everywhere.
When you go to one of these events, You escape from whatever you're involved in life.
Because a lot of electronic music is instrumental, it's universal. There's no language attached to it. Everybody can understand it. Music is the language itself.
You can't really do dance music on your own. It's participatory. It's a tribal experience you have together, right? It's meant to be enjoyed in a group.
It's crazy how many festivals around the world there are. Those electronic festivals came from raves.
What we started, from where it was to where it is now today, we've made it as a whole for the scene.
These artists right now are averaging $500,000 a night.
Now there's like a commercial appeal to them. You can hear, like, that's the only thing you hear on pop radio now is EDM music.
Every urban artist, pop star, anybody who's anybody wants a dance record on their album.
Are you happy with the structure like this?
How about this? How about this? How about this? First break is just do it, and then the second break is both them together.
It's like, what I think, if we have this the first break, is that when the drop comes with the melody, it's way too random, it's out of nothing.
The reason I initially wanted to work with Martin is because of Animals. I heard it and I was like, this is fucking weird. I like it. It's different.
We're gonna record like right now the guitar part.
Do you want it like that? Or
yeah, that's better.
You know what? I'll do it and then you can chop it and use it. Yeah, just turn the track down low if that's all right. You forget how young Martin is because he's so like world traveled. Like you feel like he's like Tiesto or something.
The quality of production is really out there everywhere. So many good producers. You know, what's the problem for me? It's there's a lot of empty music. How are we gonna make music that touch people's heart, but in a new, fresh, and exciting way?
You hear that as a single vocal?
I really feel like a creative musical chemist. You know what I mean? When the fusion of music comes together, whatever you may call it, pop, R&B, and EDM, and it works, it opened an entire new conversation. It's those greats before us who created that fusion. Like Michael Jackson, when disco was on its way out and rock was on its way in, Michael was able to create something that satisfied both parties. I feel like once the world was able to hear EDM in that way, and me experiment with David Guetta and now Martin Garrix, to me, that creates an entire new movement. He's created an authenticity within a style that everybody's kind of enjoying.
What the big challenge is for me is to keep evolving and to stay relevant.
Ultra 2015.
What's up, Miami?
Imagine that you're standing there and you're seeing your son, and he's standing before 40,000 people. It's incredible.
Miami, how you guys feeling? One, two, three, let's go!
Martin Garrix, he put him on any festival and he can't do no wrong. So it's something which is wondrous, you know, you've got someone that's this young who's connecting with 18-year-olds, he's connecting directly to the people he's inspiring. It'd be difficult for me to be there and have 18-year-olds going, oh my God, he's amazing. They'd be like, oh my God, my dad's amazing. You know, it doesn't work.
I don't see myself as a big act. It doesn't count on how many tickets you sell. It also counts about what you did for the industry, what you are still doing, and what your abilities are, what you can do.
Hey, there he is. How you doing? Hey. So you played already, right?
I just came on stage and we rushed
just
here.
came
We
off,
just
really?
rushed here.
Oh, thank you.
No worries, it's all good. I respect Carl as a producer and a DJ. His DJ sets are, I can't play 8 hours in a row and not lose the attention from the crowd.
The longest set I've done is 10 hours.
How did you do it? Like, you didn't play one track 2 times?
No.
That's not.
Yeah.
Did you do it solo or did you do it back-to-back with others?
No. Just me on my own. Yeah. Went to the toilet once, two slices of pizza, and I think 4 beers, and that was me.
But that's something I respect. Yeah. I can't think about 12 hours. That's nuts. He can do so many things which I am dreaming of and which I'm still trying to do.
I mean, I was actually quite shy as a young DJ. When I was up on the stage, I had the curtains closed and I was still playing my music. And I was keep them closed as long as I could. And then when I go to the DJ, I'd be like...
Well, that's cool, though.
I'd be playing, you know, and then say something on the mic, I'd be like, no. You say something, you know. But that's how it was for me. I kind of grew into all of this, you know. Yeah. Martin's got to believe that he can do this because the whole scene rests on his shoulders now. He's young, he's hungry, and he's out to basically set the bar on what happens next.
We're all lost souls at one point, and when we come together at dance music festivals, we're not lost anymore. Dance music used to be my little secret, you know, it was my little thing. But if you have something great, you want to share it with as many people as possible. This is a love thing, and it's a fun thing, and you should never be greedy about something great.
It's not about being on the top, it's about making other people happy.
It's just who we are. Say we're
It's all about the DJ, the music, the people you're surrounded with. I think that's so beautiful. You make people happy and make them forget about everything else. I'm kind of happy that it's going towards a new direction right now, because that won't make it like fade away. And that's the only fear I have, like, because it went, like, same with my career, like, because it went so fast. I just hope, like, I can hold on. What I just hope is that electronic music is not at the limit yet, and it can still grow for the next 10 years. I just hope I can be like a part of it, and we'll see what happens.
We love and are tied together by music created by a technology that is always evolving and mutating. That makes every day a new possibility.
When you look back at it, God, what we started to where we are now, years later, it was some achievement.
Whether it's underground or more commercial, as a whole, electronic music is thriving around the world.
I want to protect the scene. You know, I want it to be here a long time. Way after I'm done and retired and in the ground, in rave heaven, I want this to go on forever.
Dat is de show die ik van hem gezien.
Wanneer?
En zo, nu?
Zeg die elke keer weer, hè?
Ja, maar dat komt
Gewoon uit.
Alles is een open
Best show.
However, Martin and I were on a festival tour together for Future Music in Australia, and we had a 5-hour-long flight.
And we are next to each other.
Yeah, first row, and it's like coming, and we both kind of like, oh, hey. And we just started chatting it up. And I have to say, I was wrong about some things, you know? Martin is the first person I met from that scene who's doing it for the right reasons. And in my mind, maybe one day we can bring you to the dark side.